Nerderotic.com.
I need you to fix his suit.
The suit is literal perfection.
It will be. When it fits a woman.
Kryptonite. Why do you have that? It was Bruce Wayne's. He lost hope, and I never will.
Well. Turns out it wasn't quite perfection now, wasn't it? And I guess it turns out that Batwoman did lose hope and decided to follow in the footsteps of the Batman within her show and quit. That is right. Ruby Rose is out as Batwoman on the CW. Now, on a very selfish note, I was just putting the finishing touches on my Batwoman Rotten Tomatoes video. It was going to be released tomorrow morning, and it still will, and it will slightly reference this, but man, it was frustrating. You work all day on something, and then a bomb drops, and I know, YouTuber problems, right? But before we get started, if you like what I do here, please like, share, and subscribe, and share the video. It really does help. Thank you very much. Now let's get to variety, and yes, this is going to be some low-tier content because, you know, I think I can do a low-tier content video once in a while, can it? Well, I guess you'll decide, won't you? Variety, Batwoman, star Ruby Rose, exit series ahead of Season 2. I wonder why. And I go into that in my Rotten Tomatoes video that will be out tomorrow. Please look for it. In a surprise move, Variety. Well, I guess they're rushing this. Ruby Rose, the star of the CW's Batwoman, has decided to leave the television series ahead of its already announced second season. The exact reason she is leaving remains unclear, but the show will go on. Warner Brothers, the studio behind Batwoman, and the CW have both committed to creating a second season with a new series lead. Now, are they going to be casting with identity politics? My guess is yes. I've made the very difficult decision to not return to Batwoman next season, said Rose in a statement. And now that I think about it, this is a perfect opportunity to cast a man in the role as Batwoman. That would be stunning, brave, empowering, bold, and fierce. This was not a decision I made lightly, as I have the utmost respect for the cast, crew, and everyone involved with the show in both Vancouver and in Los Angeles, and I'm sure Ruby Rose wrote this herself. I am beyond appreciative to Greg Berlanti, and I gotta say this name slow, Sarah Scheider, and Carolyn Dries for not only giving me this incredible opportunity, but for welcoming me into the DC universe they have so beautifully created. Thank you, Peter Roth and Mark Pedowitz and the teams at Warner Brothers and the CW who put so much into the show and always believed in me. Thank you to everyone who has made Season 1 a success. I am truly grateful. Now, there's an interview that's on this page here that might give us a little insight to how Ruby Rose was feeling during the filming.
You're being honored tonight by Australians in film, so many friends in the room. What does that mean to you?
It's great. I'm a little kind of spun out because I've been living in a bat cave for quite some months.
That doesn't sound like an attitude of gratitude.
Doing the crossovers, which is like going into every other superhero show. So doing 5 hours of television on top of what we already do. I'm on like 2 hours of sleep. And so now to be, and also I've worn the same like things for 3 months, you know what I mean? I'm always in character. I wear my pajamas to set. There's no point in even trying anymore. So then to be, come into something like this where there's lights and cameras and action and all this, and then I'm going to have to talk on a stage, it's a lectern, it's like, wait, I'm not ready for this. I wish I could do it in character.
Now, I could speculate all day, but I really don't care to. It could have been her injuries. It could have been the person who died on set. It could have been the person who was severely injured. I helped shout out the GoFundMe for that. It could have been the grueling schedule, which it sounds like from that interview. It could be that she hates the costume. Who knows? These decisions don't come out of nowhere, and she is throwing away a huge opportunity, and this will affect her in future roles. Make no mistake about it, but it's done. Batwoman is gone, and the show will probably not improve very much, but chances are it couldn't get any worse, could it? The CW had in January renewed Batwoman and a dozen other series for the 2020-2021 season, and I still can't believe that, but HBO Max, and they are putting Doctor Who on that as well. After Rose revealed last September that she had undergone emergency surgery for 2 herniated discs Questions arose as to which project had contributed to the injuries she sustained, but a source familiar with the situation tells Variety that Rose's decision had nothing to do with her health or injury. And that's a source in Los Angeles. So that is a legitimate source, because if you haven't heard, only sources can come from Los Angeles. Batwoman Season 1 averaged a 0.5 rating among adults 18 to 49, and it finished with a 0.2, by the way, after 7 days of delayed viewing, putting it in a tie for third behind The Flash and the final season of Arrow in the CW rankings. But remember, of course, this is a new show. It should be getting better ratings, and they gave this show every chance they possibly could, and the critics are starting to turn on it, and that will be in my next video. Total viewership-wise, the show's freshman season averaged 1.7 million viewers in Live plus 7, which again places it in the network's third most watched show. Warner Brothers Television, the CW, and Berlanti Productions thank Ruby Rose for quitting at the last minute. For her contributions to the success of our first season, and wish her all the best, said Warner Brothers Television, the CW, and Berlanti Productions. You know that's not what they said. I want to know what they really said. In a joint statement, the studio and network are firmly committed to Batwoman's second season and long-term future, and we, along with the show's talented creative team, look forward to sharing its new direction. Well, it has a chance. Nothing personal against Ruby Rose. She does sound like a perfectly lovely person, but she just didn't have it. Her American accent was awful. The show was awful. But you know what? I guess you'll never know, because the writing was terrible, and it's not all her fault. Including the casting of new lead actress and member of the LGBTQ community in the coming months. Okay, cast a gay man as Batwoman. Now, I don't think this is going to affect the show in any way, shape, or form. It might be able to slightly improve, but that is improving from absolute shite, and I won't be watching it. I will not be reviewing it again. I was secretly catching up on this show for my Rotten Tomatoes video, which again will be out tomorrow. Sorry to plug it so much, but damn, I worked on that thing all day. I really did. So it's only going to help the show if it exists at all. Now, Hollywood is in turmoil right now, so you're hearing projects being announced, but there's that force majeure that is hanging over absolutely everyone's head. Now, the CW, I think, is almost solely responsible for bringing us some of the crap television we have received over the last 3 or 4 years. I think it has everything to do with infecting Star Trek, and I think it has everything to do with infecting Doctor Who, going after the Tumblr crowd, which is now the Twitter crowd, or the Instagram crowd, or the TikTok crowd. You know, the crowd that doesn't buy anything. So those 50-year-olds with disposable income have been disposed of. Now, you don't have to make everything for me. I am not one of those people who has to see myself in a television show. Again, Buffy the Vampire Slayer is one of my favorite all-time shows. I do not identify in public with the experience of a vampire-slaying Southern California cheerleader, but somehow I managed to enjoy the show. Now, there is one thing in this article that has nothing to do with Ruby Rose that does bother me. Them looking for an Alphabet member exclusively for this role. In isolation by itself, it seems harmless, but it really isn't. And I'm not even talking about how it would affect somebody on the individual level, like somebody getting a job based on how they identify or who they sleep with, rather than how good they are at the job. Maybe that's what affected Ruby Rose. I'm thinking about the big picture. What kind of questions are they going to ask when you audition for that role? Who you sleep with, how you identify? That's none of anybody's business. And what other questions are they going to start asking if they can get away with that? That's why there are laws on the books against something like this. Pardon me for stating the obvious, but it's part of what I do here on YouTube. This precedent being set can be used in the future, and some might argue that it's being used right now to ostracize, blackball, gatekeep, discriminate against people based on their race, gender, and religion. And yes, I do realize that the fictional character of Batwoman identifies in the fictional DC universe as a member of the fictional alphabet community within it. And I have no doubt that a member of the alphabet community will get the job, and great. I hope they're the best person for it, but we'll never know. And again, maybe that's what affected Ruby Rose. But that's the game of identity politics, the game that you can never win, but you can most certainly lose. Now, when it comes to Ruby Rose, I wish her all the luck in the world. Hope she gets a ton of roles and has a nice and happy life. And maybe Batwoman will get better. Chances are it won't, but maybe it will. But I will not be there to find out, because I will not be watching it, because I was told it was a show that wasn't made for me, and that is just fine. There is a lot of shows coming from Hollywood nowadays that aren't made for me when they should be, because I just want to be entertained. I can relate to things again on the human level, but that's the thing Hollywood has had the hardest time with, being human. Apparently, they're not making anything for anybody these days. But one thing is official now, and it was a tight race. Robert Pattinson is the skinniest Batman. Until next time, please like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.